guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here. In today's video, I kind of want to do like a grungy glam kind of makeup. And I'm going to use the Lorac Noir palette. So if you guys want to hang out with Lily and watch me do kind of like a grungy glam look, get ready together, then just keep on watching. I am so glad that like grungy glam is back and like on trend, because that's the kind of makeup that I grew up learning how to do. So this is like my favorite style of makeup to do. I'm gonna start out with this kind of deep brownish red shade. I'm gonna start building that up on my outer corner. I am gonna take some black out there as well, but I want to start out with this shade because I don't want it to be like super black. I want to just be able to kind of add that black depth where I want it. Start out with this on my outer corner. I'm gonna take it probably about a third of the way in. So barring just like flat out smoky eyes, this is one of my favorite ways to do just like a really grungy kind of smoky eye, just like really deep dark on the outer corner and then just like real bright on the inner corner, dark lower lash line, winged eyeliner. It's my favorite. See, we're going actually probably about halfway over. It's okay, we're gonna blend that a little bit more. And these shadows are perfect for this type of look because they are really nice and pigmented, but they're super easy to work with and like really blendable. They like, even on this eye, like it's the only shade on there and it's already getting pretty close to like blending itself into my like skin. You don't have to do a ton of work with it. All right, next up, I'm gonna go into this second lightest shade right here and use that to just really blend out this kind of like darker shade. So we're gonna use this as a transition and then also blend right in this area right here. Okay, so my mom called me really quick. So what I did was I just took that kind of like lighter bone shade, which is the shade that I had already set my brow bones with. Just made sure everything was really nice and smooth. And then I just went back and kind of re-intensified the two shades that I had already used. So next up, I'm gonna take this really small blending brush and I'm gonna go into that black shade. And I'm gonna just kind of, just on the very outer corner. And I'll probably go back and forth between the black shade and the kind of like more dark brown burgundy shade. This is a pretty pigmented black. It's a nice black. It's not going to be as intense because we're not laying it down first, so it's not going directly onto the eye primer. But as you can see, like it already makes a massive difference. So we're going to keep this right on the outer corner, and then I'll take my other brush with that kind of burgundy shade and just make sure it's blended. So you can see the difference. The side with, the side without it. Just intensifies it just a little bit more. You could make it deeper. You could not put it at all if you don't want to go that deep. You're already pretty grungy. So it's dealer's choice. And if you want it really deep pigmented black, start with the black. All right, I'm happy with the way that that looks. It's the level of grunge that I am desiring. And then next up, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to go into this kind of more cooler toned, like almost gunmetal-y shade. And put that right towards the center and all the way over. Okay, now if you find yourself right here and you're like, you know, I would like a little bit more gradient between the dark color and that gunmetal shade, you could go in with one of these two darker shades down here on your finger. I'm gonna go in with this one. I'm going with this one right here. And get a little bit on your finger and kind of tap where those two meet. And then last but not least, just because I do want to brighten this up just a little bit more, I'm gonna take my finger into this real bright white shade, which is like a slightly different texture. It's almost more of like a topper. It's very thin. And I'm gonna put that more towards my inner corner and then just kind of top blend it over to diffuse it. And then last but absolutely not necessarily necessary, I'm going to take just a smidge more of that black, just right out here, just because the kind of tapping that deep dark shade did kind of cover it up a little bit with some of that shimmer. I don't want that, so. Okay, perfect. I love the way that this turned out. I'm gonna go put on a good wing and my base, and I will be right back. All right, I'm gonna put on a little bit of concealer. And then for my cream bronzer, I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in the shade Lights. And I'm still using my little velour puff, mostly because I've been too lazy to wash brushes. And last year, when I was filling out my like makeup artist bag for clients, I bought a ton of these off Amazon, and they were like a couple bucks, so I was like, whatever, just keep these for myself. Which, ironically enough, I have also been like aggressively putting off washing my sponges, so I've also been pulling AOA sponges out of my like backup makeup artistry stuff. It's all just sitting there anyway because I haven't actually booked anybody in a while. So, but I actually do think, especially with this bronzer, because this bronzer is so crazy pigmented, but also like really, really easy to blend. But with how pigmented it is, I actually genuinely think that it is easier to apply with a velour puff, because it just, you can get less on your sponge, but I also think it just kind of like, it moves the product around a little bit easier than a brush does. All right, I'm gonna flip my little puff around, and then for cream blush, I'm gonna use the Melt Cream Blush Light in the shade Sandy Cheeks, which I'll admit, this formula right here doesn't fare as well with the velour puff, but you know what? I still don't have any clean brushes, so we're making do with what we got. It's not bad, it's just not as easy to blend as it would be with a brush. All right, I am gonna go blend out my concealer, get my face ready for powder. I'll be right back. All right, for my powder blush, I'm gonna start out with the Essence Ursula blush, which is just kind of like a nudie color, like a bronzy nudie shade. And then for bronzer, I'm gonna use the Physicians Formula Butter Puff. Okay, I'm gonna go set down the rest of my face. I will be right back. All right, so for my under eyes, I'm gonna take this really tiny, let's put it on the side, little liner brush. And I'm gonna go into the black shade, and I'm just gonna kind of hug this right up underneath. I'm gonna use the mirror from the palette for this. Hug this right up underneath my lashes. And you can take this as far or as not far as you want. If you want more of kind of like a kind of eye, you could stop it right about here. If you want to go full grunge, you know, take it all the way over. I think I'm going to stop it right about here, but I am going to take this black and kind of smoke it out right underneath my wing to kind of soften that edge. Yeah, I'm going to stop it right about there. And then I'm going to take that little pointed brush that I used earlier, and I wiped it off, and I'm gonna go in to this shade right here, which is the one of the two mattes I haven't used yet, and I'm just going to very gently wiggle this right up underneath that black. So there it is, blended out versus unblended. And I'm literally dipping the very corner of this, like very tip of this brush, into the shadow, just one little boop. I don't want to put too much underneath my eyes because it can like start to come down a little bit too far. This is definitely a place where you want to control how much you're applying. So you already kind of took it out a little bit too far out here, but. And then the real main thing that to really make this pop will just be to tight line the upper and lower lash line with some black, make it look real nice. For my blush topper, I'm going to use the Milani Baked Blush. This one's in the shade Bellissimo Bronze. This was actually not the palette that I had planned to work with today, but this morning I was like, I want to do a neutral look. The palette that I was going to use was going to be colorful, and I was like, I just want a neutral look. I just want to go back to like neutral vibes, you know? Originally I was like tossing back and forth. I was like, do I want to do like something a little bit more soft glam and all this? And then I kind of started Googling like 2023 makeup trends, just because I was curious. I hadn't really looked into it. And there was obviously there's a ton, but one of them was like grungy glam, and I was like, oh, that's the one. That's the one. For my highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Revlon Skin Lights highlight in the shade Daybreak Glimmer. I'm gonna really pack this on my inner corner just because I do want that brightness on the inner to, like, I don't know, kind of accentuate the darkness on the outer corner. Yeah, the trends were like either really soft, just natural, just like, just not basic. Basic's not the right word, but just like soft glam, like more sheer tints, sheer washes, just like, a little bit of blush and just like really more natural looking makeup. And then the other end of the spectrum was like what they called dopamine makeup, which was just like really bright, colorful, punchy, eyes or lips or whatever, just to give you that dose of dopamine. And I'm gonna be honest with you, grunge glam gives me that dose of dopamine. I really feel like we're heading back into that like 2012 era of makeup, like early 2010s era. I'm fucking here for it. I have no idea what lip product I'm gonna use, so I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup and figure that out, and I'll let you guys know when I get back. Alright, so for my lips, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick in Pillow Talk. Is it the Matte Revolution? I don't know. It's matte. The matte version of Pillow Talk. Still got a sweet cat right over here. Love that. And I love the way that this makeup look turned out. I just think that it's so pretty, and just it's the type of makeup that I love to do. It's just my favorite. I feel like I'm like bringing it back to the type of makeup that, like, again, that I learned how to do when I started doing my own makeup, and I just think it's pretty. It's always been my like kind of go-to style of makeup, so I'm really glad that it's like back on trend. Not that I ever really stopped or truly cared about the trend when I was like, this is the type of makeup that flatters my face the best, but it's nice to be trendy every once in a while. That is going to wrap up today's video and my little tutorial on like a grungy glam makeup look using the Lorac Noir palette. Comment down below and let me know how you feel about grungy glam makeup. I would love to know. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!